it is 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines we have the Grande École preparatory exam. Iran launches a drone attack against Israel in Middle East. Welcome to our newsroom. The Minister of Interior, Said Nuh Hassan, today held a working meeting on the protections of urban roads. And state property with all state services in the meeting room of his offices. The meeting was attended by officials from the prefecture and its district sub-prefecture, the commune president of Bulaus and Balbala, and representative of the OVD, the sanitary department, and RTD. The main objectives of the meeting focused on 4 key points: reflections on ways and means of informing and raising public awareness on the need to protect urban roads and the state's property, refocusing the implementations and coordination of state actions in the file, not only to combat illegal acts observed on public roads and spaces, but also to ensure the sustainability of these actions involve local players in the management of public affairs, the dissemination and enforcement of provisions relating to the prefectural decree in force regulating administrative penalties for offender in matter of urban roads and state property. In addition, the minister recalls that this meeting is part of the effort to remedy all the recurring problems of waste management, sewage, and illegal occupancy which persist despite the various interventions and actions of the technical services and degrade the living environment of the capital's inhabitants. It was agreed that it was crucial for everyone to do their bit to improve the capital's images and living conditions of its residents. For this reason, the Minister of Interior once again emphasized the need to put in place a new intervention strategy and above all to involve all local players by reinforcing the communication aspects and involving RTD. As I said in the headlines, today, 2024, the 27 students of the classe préparatoire aux grandes écoles, preparatory class for the grandes écoles of the Lycée d'Excellence, are taking the writing test for the competitive entrance exam at the Institute of the French Institute of Djibouti. This relocated competition is a first for Djibouti and a great opportunity for our students in the scientific stream. This competition will give our students access to the Grandes Écoles d'Ingénieurs in France, which offer training in sectors such as industry, innovations, computer sciences, and numeric quality, safety, environment, sustainable development, building, civil engineering. Moreover, these same students are due to travel to France next Friday to take the writing test to the École Polytechnique from April 22 to 26, 2024 in Paris and Poitiers. This competitive exam will enable our students to enter the renowned école whose specialties cover most areas of industry and high technology. They can also lead to the Grandes Écoles of Commerce programs. Our 10 students from the literary streams of the class preparatory Grandes Écoles are currently in Poitiers, France, to take the competitive entrance exam for the Grandes Écoles Normales Supérieures, to specialize in a discipline such as literature, above all to go on to the Grande École de Commerce, which they will also be able to enter the Institut d'études politiques de Paris. They can also enroll in this Institut d'études politiques for later entry into the major journalism schools. They can also enter translation schools after 2 years of preparatory school at Lycée d'Excellence. Many doors open for our students, and the sayings goes every possible files in with their reach. We have this idea of the Excellence School to our President of His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, who inaugurated in October 18, 2017. We pay tribute to his far-sightedness and innovative spirit to value human capital and especially young people. For his part, the Secretary General of the Ministry of National Education Vocational Training, Mohamed Abdallah Mahyoub, thanked the partners such as the French Ministry of Education, the French Embassy in Djibouti, and the institute who has supported his department in setting up and developing École Excellence de Djibouti. We wish courage and success to our 37 students with the pride of the Djiboutian nation. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training has been able to implement the ideas of the President of the Republic by offering courses of excellence to our students with a high intellectual potential. May our young people seize this opportunity to shine at the Grandes Écoles and provide our nations with the quality engineers and innovators. In 2019, the Djiboutian government has decided to prioritize and strengthen certain sectors set to grow in the near future. These sectors are underexploited, but are brimming with the opportunities, not least tourism. Numerous campsites and tourist sites are listed in the Republic of Djibouti, much to the delight of tourists. Breathtaking landscape, some of them unique in the world. The Republic of Djibouti is renowned for its tourist sites and campsites, and the country has enormous assets and potential in this field. The Djiboutian government has been working hard on this for a long time, in close collaboration with the national and foreign tourism promoter, as a sector set to expand in the near future, generating tens of thousands of direct and indirect jobs from north to south. Dozens of tourist sites and camps have been identified, places that are surprising as they are welcoming hundreds of tourists every year from the four corners of the world, who live with smiles on their face and plenty of memories in their heads. These places are unique and unprecedented in their kind, and most of them are set in the breathtaking natural landscape. These places are known the world over, as the national tourism offices regularly promote them. The best known are the Femoral and Jace of Laka Bay, the salt flow of Laka Cell, one of the lowest points on Earth at 153 meters below sea level, Das Bio with its cave and cave paintings, the Musha and Mascali Island with their sublime seabeds, and Arta with its unique maritime marine protected area, which welcomes visitors every year from October to March. The Hull Shark, the world's largest marine mammifer, Asamo, and its luxurious gardens, beautiful Godoria with its mangrove, sheltering a unique biodiversity and ecosystem. The Ditilu Tourist Camp, a privileged site that welcomes many tourists every year. The Bankwale Tourist Camp, the white sand Sable Blanc, for the country's most beautiful beach, and more recently, the Lubatanle Resort and the national jewels in the crown in terms of upmarket tourism. The Gadle Resort Hotel, a five-star hotel overlooking the coast of the Tojora region, is to name but a few of these sites and camps welcome thousands of tourists every year, eager to adventure and trekking. The Djibouti government, headed by President Ismail Omar Guelleh, has put in place a range of strategies to boost this sector and has carried out numerous projects and investment to enable sustainable economic growth. The tourism sector generated billions of dollars in revenue worldwide. This notice of search to close the national news. The Kamil Hebanu and Hawa Said family searched their son, Mohammed Kamil Hebanu. Mohammed Kamil Hebanu is 39-year-old of Djiboutian nationality and lives in Barwako. Mohammed Kamil left his home in Barwako on the mornings of Saturday, April 6, 2024. He was wearing pants and a short sleeving shirt. Since that day, the family has been looking for him, as he is mentally disturbed. In case of discovery, please contact the family number 77840974, 7763 7202, 7763 1109. 08 and or Central Commissariat 2135 27 61. For the international news, Iran launches a drone attack against Israel. The Israeli army claims that Iran launched a drone and missile attacks against Israel on Saturday evening. This was Tehran's response to the strike against its diplomatic representations in Damascus, Syria. Information confirmed by Iranian media, who reported 4 major drone operations carried out by the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps against targets in the occupied territories. The United States has already expressed its full support for Israeli efforts against Iran. Joe Biden concealed his weekend leave and rushed back to Washington for exchanges with his security advisor. U.S. National Security Council spokeswoman Adrienne Watson said in a statement that the U.S. will stand with the Israeli people and support their defense against Iran's threat. Kenya, a new bean of variety that adapt to the climate. A new variety of bean is flourishing in Kenya to meet the country's climatic challenges called nyota, which means star in Kiswahili. These climate-smart beans represent a glimmer of hope for a sustainable agricultural future that will preserve food security, developed by scientists as part of a collaboration between the Kenya Agriculture and Livestock Research Organization and the International Biodiversity Alliance. These beans not only adapt to the climate but also to consumer demand. Indeed, the cooking times make it possible to obtain variety that cook faster, and by cooking faster reduce the cost of fuel such as gas and firewood, which will probably reduce the cost of living, explains Josephine Sienda, a researcher of Calpo. These seeds could be the answer to crop growth in response to global climate change. This initiative is encouraging farmers to grow this hardier variety to boost national bean productions, but this is not enough to meet annual consumption demand. According to David Kazania, Kenya's annual beans product is 600,000 metric tons, while consumption is 755,000 metric tons, hence the needs to import. Knife attack in crowded Sydney shopping center. Stabbing attack left 6 dead and several injured, including 9-month-old baby. On Saturday, April 13, in a crowded Sydney shopping center perpetrated by a 40-year-old man with a mental illness, with nothing to suggest a possible motive terrorist. According to law enforcement, at this stage we have no elements, no information, no proof, or no intelligence to suggest that it is a particular motivation, an ideology, or other for his act. New South Wales Police Deputy Commissioner Anthony Cook said, on the other hand, we know that the assailant suffered from the mental health problems. He added, specifying that the men known to the police had come from the state of Queensland, North. Karen Webb and the New South Wales police officials said 5 women and 1 man had been killed. The attackers, Joel Koshi, was shot dead by a police officer held for her heroism. 8 injured people, including a baby, were taken to hospital. They all have traumatic injuries, said the New South Wales Emergency Services spokesperson. The baby is in serious but stable conditions, according to police. The tragedy occurred at the sprawling, busy Westfield Bondi Junction shopping complex on Saturday afternoon. The scene was coordinated by a police who called on the population to avoid the area. The assailant appears to have acted alone. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said in a news conference, for all of us this evening, the appalling scenes at Bondi Junctions are beyond words and beyond comprehension. He said Anthony Albanese paid tribute to the bravery of passers by who helped each other and the police officers who intervened in defiance of danger. And to close up this edition, in Haiti, a transition councils to stern gang violence. The highly anticipated Haitian Presidential Transition Council was officially created yesterday, Saturday, following weeks of tense negotiations and months after the announcement of the resignations of a disputed Prime Minister Ariel Henry. The formations of this body, which will attend to restore public orders and stability in the countries plagued by gang violence, was made official by a decree signed by Henri and published in the official newspaper. The monitor, the council is not yet formally in charge of the country, and Ariel Henry will present the resignations of his government following the appointment of a new prime minister. Specifies the text its member will have to rapidly appoint it as prime minister, as well as an inclusive government. According to the document, the council's mandate must end on February 7, 2026 at Lares. The Caribbean community, which sponsored the discussions for the formations of the council, welcomes its official creations, which allows a glimpse of possibility of the new beginning for Haiti, while recognizing that the country still had to do facing significant challenges. The U.S. through a spokesperson for the State Department, for its part, spoke of a positive step towards the restoration of security to open the way to free and transparent elections and towards the restoration of democracy and inclusive governance. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.